Yeah, I did it once. It's me again. I dropped Los Angeles for all you haters. I'm back with this fearless, you know what I'm saying? You cats in LA, some of y'all half-stepping, thinking y'all doing it better than me. You wanna be? Bring it to the plate. You know what? Let's go.
We out on the show, we doing what we do. One side red and the other side blue. Niggas ain't tripping, we out having fun. When you living in the city that sets with the sun. We out on the show, we doing what we do. One side red and the other side blue. Niggas ain't tripping, we out having fun. When you living in the city that sets with the sun.
Good evening and welcome to Airline Exposures Now Admitted. I'm your host, Honey P. I'm here with Vibes of a Melanin Queen, and tonight, we taking a hard look at what the airlines are finally admitting to: health exposures, technical breakdowns, and what that means for travelers. We'll also getting into high-profile jewelry heists, allegedly, of some high-profile artists. Chain snatched in broad daylight, allegedly. Rumors flying in, could be more than just street crime, you know what I'm saying? And we finally, close with the high stakes showdown over Trump's latest immigration enforcements and California lawsuits, National Guard deployments, and Supreme Court appeals. So we're gonna get into this. First and foremost, Vibes of a Melanin Queen, go ahead and speak to the people.
What up, y'all? Just
Well, we're glad to have you. Like I say, airline exposure is not admitted. That's something we're gonna start off with really quick. Some of that stuff is kind of wild. Along with that, public health, measles exposures tied to travelers arriving at LAX from China August 2nd, prompting contact tracing efforts. A lot of people don't realize that LAX comes in contact with a lot of people. There is a lot of people that come through LAX. LAX is one of the busiest airports in the world. And if you've been paying attention to some of the news, this is probably for another story, but if you've been paying attention to some of the news, some of the police officers and law enforcement agencies have said LAX may be a drug trafficking haven. And I don't know how people feel about that, but that's what's been said. But back to what this was about. Like health. Me personally, a lot of people that I personally know, a lot of people that have been exposed to these chemicals at the airlines, because they, believe it or not, a lot of people have worked at the airport before. A lot of people are still working at the airport. A lot of people, I hate to say it, are going to pass away working at the airport. And it's something that people need to really pay attention to, because for a long time they've been telling us, a lot of airlines have promoted that we take safety measures to make sure that employees are protected. But at the end of the day, you can't convince anybody, which was said by a lot of people, you can't convince people that working around these jet fumes are healthy for you. It's not healthy. How many people that we've known personally have passed away who worked at the airlines? And some people have never done any drugs or alcohol, and some were suffering from illnesses related to some people who would have been abused and stuff like that for years. And so a lot of this stuff that's coming out now in the media, this is not just me say, this is off Google it. A lot of the airline exposures admitted. But what do you think about that, Vibes of a Melanin Queen? Do you think that that's something that they may have to pay for in the long run, with a lot of people that passed away who worked for airlines and things like that?
one thing I've learned about big corporations in general is that they don't like to take responsibility when they are supposed to. A lot of people work at the airport are coming in contact with fumes daily. And as someone that worked in the nursing field, I could tell you what fumes does to your body. Eventually, it tears your body down. And a lot of the signs don't come immediately. some stuff comes steadily. Like over the years, you start noticing that now you have lung problems and you never smoked a cigarette a day in your life, stuff like that. So I just feel like, it's time for airlines to take accountability for them to, just really pay the dues to people that are, working at this place. Because I mean, without workers, airlines will do nothing. So let's just really look into taking accountability and being responsible, and also taking care of people that do work for your airlines.
Yeah, that's true. And that's something that a lot of people really don't pay attention to, man. We got a lot of people a lot of people I personally know who still work for the airlines. And I used to tell a lot of these people that it's not healthy, man. I mean, and we not getting no younger. That's something that we people don't want to admit to, they think we're getting younger when you're really not, man. And you got to really pay attention. You got to really pay attention to that. So, like, it's been decades, man. A lot of people have been out there thinking that nothing was gonna happen to them working out there. But let's see. You got certain things that you got to look out for. From the jet fuels, the particles coming out of the engines. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the stuff you don't see, a lot of that stuff you breathing in, those metallic particles. Like they say, just for instance, some things are ultra fine particles, from jet engines, emissions, are significant near aircraft ramps. So workers in close proximity, such as baggage handlers, mechanics, and other on the tarmac, well, they say apron, but we're going to say on the tarmac, are exposed to particles counts well above safe reference levels, particularly during takeoff, landing, and taxi operations. So a lot of ramp agents are around these. And you know what? These particles, along with polyromatic hydrocarbons, PAHSs, have been linked to DNA damage, inflammation, biomarkers of genotoxic exposure, risk factors for cancer, cardiovascular, and respiratory disease. So, with that being said, anybody who's worked at the airport, anybody that knows somebody that worked at the airport who may be sick or who may have passed away for some of these illnesses, these are some of the things that can be linked to that. I'm going to say that again. These particles, along with polyromatic hydrocarbons, known as PAHS, have been linked to DNA damage, inflammation, and biomarkers of genotoxic exposure, risk factors for cancer, cardiovascular, and respiratory disease. So let that sink in. Also, a study, a 2025, systematic review found slight evidence. Now, that's what they're saying. 2025, slight evidence linking occupational exposure to jet fuels with neurological, cognitive, respiratory, and cancer outcomes. But a 2024 study in California between the SEIU/United Service Workers West highlighted that workers at LAX showed higher rates of respiratory illnesses, including asthma and COPD, which they attributed to daily exposure to jet weight emissions. These notes came via ABC7 Los Angeles. So this is a study that has been shown. It's been out there. And, also, I got a comment right here off Reddit. An unknown rapper speaks out. Basically, his narrative was, you don't get sick. Possibly contribute to the development of cancer, heart disease, mental illness, and respiratory symptoms. I go home smelling like fumes every night. This is on Reddit. It is no secret that working in proximity to diesel ground equipment leads to increased risks of cancer of the skin and respiratory systems. Others mention chronic, muscle skeletal injuries, hearing damage, and even skin scars, not just from fuel exposures, but from overall ramp conditions. Now, mind you, these notes aren't from me. These notes are via Reddit. So this is something that people really have to pay attention to, who's working out there. And mind you, I will say this. the airlines, working for airline industry, they offer you great benefits. That's real. There's not a place you can't go working for the airlines. You can hop up if you got a week off. You can go anywhere in the world if you work for a major airline. So I'm not telling people that working for an airline is bad. I'm telling people that you gotta pay attention to your health. You know what I'm
Pay
saying? Pay
attention to
attention
the
to
risk
your health,
factor.
your risk factors of working at an airline.
Working, uh, just compare your problem with working at the airport. It has to do with health.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That is very true. Now, I'm gonna read a couple downplayed claims that have been going on for over the years that they've told to airline employees. Now, some of the downplayed claims was jet fuel exposure don't make you sick. Those are the exact words. Also, no serious risk from working on the ramp. These were some downplayed claims. But some of the stuff that they finally admit now, saying currently being acknowledged, occupational exposure is now tied to potential cancer, respiratory, cognitive, and neurologic effects. Also, studies show high ultrafine particle exposure biomarkers of genotoxicity and documented respiratory illnesses. So, with this being said, this is just something, and not only for airline employees. And mind you, a lot of people, whoever listening, might say, "Oh, yeah, you take risks working everywhere." But this is something that I personally can feed into, being that I've worked in the airline industry for over 10, 15 years of my life, from different companies. From a youth, I didn't enjoy my 20s like, the average 20. My wife and I, we were raising kids and doing what some people don't do until they in their late 40s. We were doing that at a young age. So I was around that stuff, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm still fairly young. Who knows how this thing affect people when you get older in age, because some people that I do know that are up in age, which are like 20 years older than me plus, in their 60s, some 70s older, that have passed away, who's worked at the airline industry for years. And some people may say, oh, it wasn't related to it, these people were up in age. Yeah, 60 ain't too old, 60 something, that's not very old, especially if you're active, you're
60
moving.
ain't nowhere near old. That's the
That's not
thing.
old.
Like, that's not old at all. You just really living. Like, I mean, to be honest with you, I remember when being old was like being 80, almost hitting 90. Like people used to live a little longer then versus now. You got people not even making it past 35, and people seeing this as a normalcy. Like, ain't nothing normal about this. This is not the way we were created to, just live, work consistently around the clock and die.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I mean, so like I say, man, in a sense, in a short, once it was dismissed as harmless or irrelevant, is now being taken seriously. So workers and researchers are acknowledging that long-term low-level exposure to jet fuel and exhaust on airport ramps. I'm gonna say that again. Workers and researchers are acknowledging that long-term low-level exposure to jet fuel and exhaust on ramps can indeed have tangible health consequences, ranging from respiratory conditions to cancer risk and neurotoxicity. So, you want to explore specific chemicals like benzene and ultrafine particles, protective strategies and injury responses. I'm gonna post some stuff on the Facebook page, so get you more familiar with stuff like that. So that's just something that I wanted to bring to people attention, because a lot of people don't think about that. I mean, I see a lot of people post videos of a ramper that's mishandling a bag or something, and yeah, that's not right. That's not right at all. And I know that some people video people and say, look at that person throwing my bag. But yeah, it's not right. But I do want to say this in defense of rampers, that You don't know what that ramper's going through. Yes, you fly, get good flying privileges working for an airline. The pay ain't what you think. Some of the benefits ain't what you think. I mean, you offered health benefits, but you paying for it out of pocket. So if you got a family of 5 or 6 or 7, you're effed. And clearly, so if people out there throwing that stuff around there, they're a little upset, and they shouldn't be doing it. But this is just a little disclaimer for them. you know. What's up, Don?
Hey, what's going on, my brother?
I was just
Sorry about the late entry. I was a little busy talking to my daughter and stuff, so you know how that go.
It's all good, man. Like I was just telling people that, like the airline ramp exposures, a lot of researchers and doctors, scientists, and just employees are admitting to it. A lot of people downplayed it, and that. Like I do see, you said that for years, man. Like I said, we worked at the airline back in the day, and a lot of stuff that we said back in the early 2000s was like, man, it's starting to come to light now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
What
come
you
to
got to say about
fruition.
that?
It's coming to fruition. Like you just said. We've discussed this years ago, and I was talking to you about it. I was like, you know what? When you look in the sky, and then think about it. You got literally tens of thousands of aircraft landings every year, tens of thousands, and it's in one particular area, concentrated, and it can't be healthy for you. If car emissions are bad for people, what the hell you thinking aircraft emissions are? You know what I mean? Come on. And
Yeah, you're right.
if some of our employees passed away at young ages and abruptly, so we're used to it and we're knowing, but the rest of the public has no clue. They have no
Yeah.
clue, and quite frankly, they don't make enough money. Period. I
No,
mean,
they
I
don't.
equate that to um, somebody going in for that research stuff and getting
Yeah.
paid and signing away their rights to be tested on with a variety of different chemicals and medications to make something allegedly good for everybody else. And a lot of those people don't never talk about that. A lot of them don't make it. They never talk about that. Why? Because they need that research to help other people, other people that's let's just say are different from us.
Yeah, you're right. And you know what, man? I don't know, man. Something got to change, man. But like I say, man, like I said, this is just enlightening people on some things that we can speak about, not just saying from some stuff that we read, but some stuff that we live, man. Like I said, we've seen people pass away, heard about people who know people at other companies up there pass away, and like I read something earlier that it's been proven. They said workers at LAX are at a higher risk for illnesses working on a ramp for some reason. And some people might say, why LAX? And I'm gonna tell you just off my opinion. LAX is a big airport, but it's little. You know, some people they don't know what that means. You know what I'm saying? Some people don't know what that means, a big airport, but it's little. LAX is not a large airport. Like if you fly into Denver, Houston, these other places, they got a lot of land. No, LAX is like right there by the beach. You got some colleges that are way bigger than LAX, that cover more ground. Um, So you got a lot of planes flying into a small area. You got a very secluded area. You got a lot of tugs. Everything ain't electric. You still got some companies that have to use diesel tugs because electric is not enough power to push out these big aircrafts.
Yeah,
So that's
that's
just something for
true.
people to think about. Not trying to talk bad about any airline. Like I say, working for an airline has its benefits, man. Like I say, if we lose people all the time. So where can you hop up and go see about somebody, you know, at the blink of an eye. You know, the airline industry offer that to you. Depending on your position, is good pay. Like I tell everybody, don't just get into a position at a company and I got hired here, I'm good. Get you some skill. Go get certified at something, because if you just get hired as an entry worker, and that's where you're gonna be at for the next 20 years, and then it might give you a lead spot after you put in 20 years, and you know, just because you've been there so long. Yeah, but like I say, man, changing subject real quick, man. We, you know, like I say, that airline and ramp exposure, man. That's what the topic of the show is. We'll come back to that also, but we got some other stuff I want to get into, man. It's a lot of stuff going on still, man. But I got a short clip I want y'all to check out. But before we get into this clip, I want to show y'all this. I got to get this out the way. Wait up.
No copyright infringement intended. This video is for educational purposes only. The audio belongs to its rightful owners.
I want y'all to give me your opinion on what Brother Jesse said to Mayor Bass. Y'all check it out. Like I said, this is just for educational purposes only. There's a lot of stuff going on with our local and federal government. A lot of people disagreeing with our mayor. It seems like some people saying allegedly she has did what some people do, used our skin color to gain in a position, now letting her true colors be shown. But this is all allegedly. You know, this is what I'm hearing, so I don't know. But y'all check it out. Y'all check out what Brother Jesse had to say against Mayor Bass.
To figure out how we're going to do
I'm
it.
speaking.
I know, but I think
But you can't speak over me. You need to hold on.
Yeah, but I mean,
Hold on.
hold on.
Okay? You can't be rude to me. Thank you. Very quick. Right. I can't believe
It's not just me. I think
I want to say that there is a deeper cause for this. I do want to first say that there is no such thing as racism. Racism has never existed. It's a lie. It's a lie that's being used. It's a lie that's being used to divide and conquer, to keep black people angry at white folks, and to keep white people afraid to speak up. The battle is, it is black Americans, not all, are suffering due to the destruction of the family and the lack of moral character. If they had fathers and mothers together, loving them and guiding them in the right way to go, they would not, you wouldn't see the type of crime.
so. Congresswoman.
That dude is a clown, and I'm talking about some of the shit that he talks is just is off the wall to me, especially that shit. But I'm referring to that confrontation he had with Mayor Bass at the beginning. Like, what do you think about that? Is it like people showing a lack of respect for what reason? What you own Vibes of a Melanin Queen?
Yeah, I'm on.
What you think about that?
I mean, it's hard to. I could barely hear it, but one part he said something about racism isn't a real thing. I believe that's what I heard, and that's crazy to me. That literally baffled me. Like, really? So everything that the black people have experienced, what do you call that? Because I'm not understanding.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. That is crazy. So, for him saying racism ain't real.
And for him to be a black man, it's just crazy to me. Like, this is exactly what Brother Umar Johnson was talking about when he said, we have people in our community that shouldn't be in our community. Like, in order for us to be a strong, united front, we got to have people with the same mind frame. And having someone in our community that's telling us that everything that we experienced was basically nothing, it's not a real thing, it's not realistic, then what do you call it?
Yeah. Well, he did acknowledge the fact on one of his shows with an interview with a young gentleman that he was proud to acknowledge that he has received the Coon Award a couple times. So I don't expect nothing. But
The Coon Award. Oh Lord.
What are you on, Don? What you think about that, man? Don froze over there, man. It's time to give up
Don
the
over
flip
there
phone.
drinking that Mad Dog 2020.
That Morgan David. You know what I'm saying? That's how the OGs used to call it. They don't even call it. What's say Deep? They don't call it Mad Dog. They call it Morgan David, huh?
You know, brothers like him always exist and always will exist. You know, their main function in life is to cause confusion and construction in black the black neighbors. Yeah, oh, excuse me. And they could cause confusion and destruction in the.
Puff puff pass, brother.
I mean, well, to jump off of what he was saying, to be honest with you, when the Black Panther Party got set up, it was one of our own that they used to set us up. So you got to take that into accountability. Not every skin folk is kin folks.
Which is true. Which is very true. A lot of people have to remember that. A lot of people also have to remember too, money is the root of all evil, but also money has a lot of power behind it. And what I mean by that, I'm not saying
Yeah,
use your money wrong in the wrong way, but your money has power behind it. So where you spend your dollar at means something. So if you're not getting treated a certain way, don't spend your money there, because take away the power from that establishment. You're giving them power with your money.
exactly. Like on our news today, you had the Korean shop that's getting ready to close, and
Oh, in
something that they
Chinatown.
said that, yeah, that pointed out to me was, their daughter was saying me and my brother was able to go to college off of this money that she was making there. So she had to be making a pretty decent amount of money to send both of her kids to college. But it's like, think about it this way: you have a black store in a black community, but people will go past that store to go to Koreatown and get something from there, or to go, to Little Mexico, Little Tokyo, somewhere else to get something instead of going and shopping with their own people.
I mean, well, yeah, I mean, I agree with you on that. And that shop that you're referring to, it's right there in Chinatown on Broadway. A lot of people may be familiar with it. If you're going up Cesar Chavez, headed east, make a left on Broadway, keep going like you're going towards Carnitas Mitchell Con. Um, they're right on the right. I think it's by the place that has live chickens. In the morning. When I used to work in that area back in the day, you go through there at 5 in the morning, you see the truck dropping them off, and sometimes the truck driver must have been a little buzzed because a few of them chickens, crates would be laying on the ground when he hit that turn. So I mean, and I used to be all the time. I say, damn man, every day I come through here, he dropping about like 34 or 40 pallets of chicken. So I knew what they were gonna tell him.
No more money for you.
That was a wrap for him. But
Basically.
wait, what up, Don? You on, man? You still having some audio problems over there, man? Damn, man. Sound like somebody just got murked. The car backfiring. See, that's what living in LA, man. You know what I'm saying? That's something you deal with too, man. A lot of people don't realize that peace and quiet is a blessing nowadays, because I can guarantee you, anybody living in LA County, specifically the LA area, where Ladera Heights, Culver City, Inglewood, those surrounding areas, you ain't had a peaceful night of sleep in over 20 years because you heard some kind of noise at some kind of hour throughout the night.
Mainly gunfire.
That or addicts in the back getting blasted off and getting sexual. Hell, if you want to hear the nastiest sound in the world, you hear a drug addict moaning.
It's crazy because my first time going to like the country, like Arkansas, I'll say, because that's like real country. Like, I mean, it'd be so silent out there, you could hear a pin drop. And I wasn't used to that because I'm used to hearing some type of noise at night, like either a helicopter or a police car or something. Because I mean, just living in this neighborhood, you want to hear something. You want to hear, maybe somebody arguing or a crackhead that didn't get, their product. They mad now, so they flipping out.
They're gonna tell him like, "Oh boy, no more money for you."
Hey, but you know,
Boy, Don messing up.
Shit. I be telling Don, man, you can't be going live from the shot house, man. But like you say, man, that's LA, man.
You got to get rid of that Obama phone.
Obama phone, man. You know, it's so crazy. A lot of people don't even notice that. So I'm glad you brought that up, man. Y'all stop giving y'all information to these people at grocery stores, who collecting y'all information. Y'all stop giving y'all information to these people who talk about sign up for this petition. Y'all stop giving y'all information to these people talking about if you got a EBT card, you can get a free phone. Because I know some people who losing phones that happen to be on EBT and they going to get all these phones. And I'm like, y'all cats is crazy, because if y'all send me another request on Facebook on y'all 300 page, I'm gonna be mad as AMF.
I'm
But
just saying.
Like real talk though. Yeah, man. I don't know what's going on with Don, man. I don't know if you can hear us. All right, I see you moving now, man. You back? We didn't hear you at all, Don.
hey, I'll be remiss if I ain't pulling a nigga move right now.
I bet you. I know what that means. You probably eating chicken and drinking a grape soda.
With some watermelon on the side.
What did he say? What did he say? He said, "Look at here." He said, "Here, I need some melon, sir. That lighter man than us." He said, "Look at here, boy. I got a melon right here for you, full of seeds."
Funny. But no, I'm finished now. You gotta throw something down. Yeah.
Oh,
starving like.
All right. How y'all doing?
All good. Hey, Russ. I'm glad you came in here. We got some good footage, courtesy of some of our followers from the Blade Watchers. Y'all check it out.
Bonus clip from my buddies at Team Blade Watchers. Check it out.
Don't stop, girl, he's a roller. Don't stop, girl, he's a roller. Don't stop, girl, he's a roller. Take it down fast and bring it up slower. Don't stop, girl, he's a roller. Don't stop, girl, he's a roller.
Wow. And they let them walk around like that, huh?
Yeah, man. That is the infamous Figueroa Street in Los Angeles.
What Bernie Mac said, bucket naked.
Bucket naked. Now, for viewer discretion, that woman had clothes on. She was not nude.
She had a thong and a bikini top on.
Yeah.
So
I saw clothes. I saw
clothes. I saw clothes.
I bet y'all did. I bet y'all did. Because I ain't seen clothes. I seen butt cheeks and everything.
Hey, man, wait a minute. Let me ask my buddy. Hey, did you see clothes? Shit.
Ain't see no clothes either.
Oh, it sounds like an affirmative for me. He agreed. He agreed. He like, how'd you miss that G string?
What you say, cuz when your next fight, huh?
How you missed that?
But wouldn't that be considered intent to solicit in a known part of town that has prostitution?
I'm gonna tell you right now, LAPD don't care. They don't. Some of them be getting blowjobs from these ladies, so they really ain't tripping about it.
And they
To be
actually have
honest
an
with you.
intent? Huh? Y'all
What'd you
have an
say,
intent
Russ?
statute? No, I'm just saying y'all actually have an intent statute.
But see, that's
No.
the thing here. You can't say intent no more because basically with the now this just I'm just saying off my opinion. Now you like freedom of speech, you got free dress. Okay, what if an average person wanted to walk around dressed like that? Do you say they're prostituting? So you can't stereotype people like that.
You need to play
Very
that
true.
clip. Shit.
Very true. You can't stereotype people. I agree.
You know, so I mean, just legally, like you know, if that's the case, because what if some lady just figure, you know, if you see a lady
You
walking down
can't
the street,
stereotype the homosexual guy that wants to walk around like that.
yeah,
You
you
have
can't
them out there.
stereotype anybody, yeah. So I mean, so it's like that's why you can't really say that they have you know, it's like with intent to sell themselves, really, because I mean, hey, you never know, they could just be hot and need to cool off.
You know, it gets very hot in LA, huh?
Yes, it does, because it's a very hot 68
Shit.
degrees right now.
Look, it gets very hot in Texas too.
Hey,
You know,
hey, it's a very hot 68 degrees right now.
I bet you they dress the same way on Bissonnette.
This
They
and
shut
that.
They shut Bissonnette down. Bissonnette
They
ain't
shut
happening.
this and that down. What the hell?
See, they turned prostitution to a felony now.
Yeah, well, like I say,
So
man,
on the male side, so they kind of took, you know, shit, they made it very dangerous now. So you can cruise up down that street you want to and end up with a felony.
well, see, that ain't how it go down in LA. You know, you can't just. They used to, if they caught you cruising down there near an active stroll, then yes, they will pull you over. And if they caught you with one back in the day, they will put your name in a section of the newspaper. They will let your job know what you was doing. If you were married, they will let your wife know what you was doing, you know, and advise her to go get checked out because your husband has been out here dabbling in, you know. But like I say,
As they should. As they should.
yes, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, I don't. Me personally, it's like if you gonna go out there and do that, first and foremost, you're an idiot. You know what I'm saying? Like, but secondly, it's like
Putting
y'all gonna
your
spend
loved ones at risk.
dollars. Yeah, but y'all gonna spend
I mean,
taxpayer dollars to notify. Man, you know how many people they was notifying back in the day?
To me, that's the government imposing their morality. They're not doing it for public service health benefit. They're doing it to
At all.
shame the people. So I mean, that's to me, they're trying to impose their morality. I'm against it.
I would say that too, but you know what? Any help we can get getting stuff spread it through our community, I'm for it. I'm for it. It's already bad enough that they experimented on us. We don't need nothing else spread it through our community.
Yeah, I mean, but like I say, man,
My opinion.
like I said last week,
No.
we always talk about the shit that people do and affecting us, but hell, you still got people putting their glass dick to their mouth. You got, you got a lot of people still affecting themselves in the community, man. Like one thing I do want to say though, man, I spoke to somebody earlier, man. It's an older gentleman. I walk around the neighborhood, and he's a Crip, and he like about 60 years old now. He did some time, and he was saying, man, this shit crazy, man. He said, man, I never thought that I would live to see 60 years old. And then again, I never thought if I did live to see 60 that people would still be gangbanging.
Oh.
And I was like, hey, man, some people think that's life. You know, like some people really say that's life, man. You know, hell, you got some people that wake up and look forward to that shit every day. Like it's nothing wrong with you got some people who are affiliated, you know, but I tell people that's the difference between a gang banger and a gang member. You know what I'm saying? You got some people who was part of this gang, they grew out of it, you know what I'm saying, and you know, living their life. That's a member of a gang. But you got a banger is somebody who wake up and you know, you may see on the corner throwing up signs and shit still at 40-some years old.
That's a shame. Hey, Pete, text me the link for the audience.
Okay. I mean, yeah. And you still see that. I think I told you before, man. This one dude, like, I guess he tried to respectfully gangbang on me. You know, he's like, hey, he's like, hey, bro, you gangbang? You know, where you from? And I looked at him like,
motherfucker, you on Social Security talking about gangbang?
I was laughing, like, and I was smiling while and I guess that must have made him mad because he saw I was laughing. Like, bro, get the fuck out of here, man.
Way too old for that shit.
Way too old. Way too old. What kind of shit is that, man? I said, man, I can slap the shit out of this motherfucker right now, man. But I said, man, some people gotta some people, like I say, just laugh it off, man. Don't even pay attention to some of these dudes, but also watch it back too, man, because you got some of these cats, man, they don't even know what they want in life. So you think they care about what you got going on in yours? Like real talk, man. But like again, like I say, airline rap exposures is this topic, and like I say, Russ, we were just talking about some of the exposures that people downplay back in the years, and that could be anything. Like we got some relatives who work in the oil refinery business. That could be a very hazardous job.
Yeah.
You know,
exposed to a lot of chemicals and shit, man. Like say potential fire hazards.
You know that, and like I say, this is not to talk bad about any companies, but this is just saying you as a person, yeah, you got to value your health over money. So what is it gonna be? You're gonna, I'll make 200,000 a year, but I might be out of here at 50. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, is it really worth it? You know what I'm saying? Then some people might say, oh, I don't know when I'm gonna pass away anyway. Yeah, man, you don't. But I mean, still, you know, wouldn't you want to do something that would possibly keep you here longer? You know what I'm saying? That's just my opinion. But like I say, from the airline side of it, working there for so long, like Don and a few other people that we knew, man, it's just people got to get themselves checked out, man. Whatever it is, you know what I mean? Because it's some people that ain't been to the doctor since they've been slapped on the ass as a baby. Some people are scared of the doctor. Some people work. Some of these guys at the airline, they got good benefits, but they ain't got not but 3 or 4 teeth in their damn head. They won't go.
They won't use those benefits, huh?
Won't use the benefits.
That's true.
That's true. Then
that's true.
Only way they know their benefit is good when they gotta have that major surgery and say, man, I only had to pay like $250 for them to take my gallbladder out. Like, man.
Hey, but then it's not just their country. You know, we already know that there's other industries we worked at that guys got 2 teeth in their mouth.
Oh yeah.
With good benefits, with good dental benefits.
And you know what, man? That's something I wanted to mention too, man. You know, especially in LA, you know, for people who don't live in California, who don't see our local news, yeah, a lot of the stuff has halted as far as, you know, the battles between the local and federal government, lawsuits, raids and stuff. But don't get me wrong, the raids are still going on. They had, you know, I guess allegedly the federal agents are using Penske trucks like they had on the news, and they hopped out on some people the other day. But I say that to say this: what they're doing is they're gonna attack a different way. You see, this one company, you can Google this. I don't know the name of it, but it was a company, and I read it earlier. They called 40 employees into the office for a meeting and told them that they were fired. And ICE had nothing to do with it. It was just a company saying because of their documentation. So with that being said, I think the federal government is starting to press issues on companies which means local governments, here in California, like city, county of LA employees, stuff like that. So if you mysteriously not seeing a lot of people, and what I mean by that is a lot of people may say, oh, how can they be illegal working here? No, that's not the fact. Not saying people are illegal working for the local government, but people who outstay their visas also, that is clause for you to be removed also. People forget about that. So I say that to say this because I know a few people who outstayed their visas who are back home now. They willingly wanted to go back. They made their money here. They're like, yeah, send me back shit. Um, but that's just something for people to think about too, where you work at. A lot of, especially in LA, a lot of jobs here are predominantly Hispanic and other races. A lot of jobs here knowingly say you have to know Spanish to work here. And I say that to say this: they about to start letting people go. It's on the news. You seen it, just like that restaurant vibes of Melanin Queen mentioned earlier. Not restaurant, the food grocery store. They have to pack up and leave because the exact words were, "My rent is going up from 2,000 to 3,500. More people coming into LA for the Olympics. With the ice raid," she said, is scaring her customers off. So business has been low for the last few months. So, with that being said, she has to shut down. And I think we said this on a few episodes ago. I think I said this, that pay attention to what's going to go on. People think that, oh, they're going to stop the raids. Okay, that's just them running on the street like they wild. That's just them running on the streets like they wild, chasing people. But okay, people forget about the legality of it. Now you're gonna go through the paperwork. You're gonna start seeing people who using false identities, who's outstayed their visas, shit like that. It's in the news and it's happening. I said this a few months ago and it's going on. What you think about that?
Something I am going to mention in the nursing field. Um, I've been in the nursing field for over 10 years, but it didn't change so drastically where it's like I have a lot of people that I work with leave the medical field because it's like they're favoring foreigners over citizens. And it ain't even that they're more qualified because as a citizen, you got to, work 10 times harder to get any job out here, to be honest with you. And one of the qualifications on a lot of the applications is that you have to be bilingual, you have to speak Spanish. And so if you don't have that qualification, they're going to overlook your application. And it's
And
not
that's
just
true.
them. You have a lot of Filipinos. You have a lot of Indian women. It's a lot of racism in the medical field that people don't talk about. Like as a black woman, you get overshadowed, overworked, and overlooked. So it's just like it's constant chaos working in that field. But if it's something you love, of course you're gonna do it. But at the same time, the benefits of it don't weigh the same as what you're going through working in that field.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. A lot of that stuff gets overlooked. A lot of people don't complain, or I ain't gonna say complain. A lot of people don't speak up when they should speak up.
She's right
Uh,
about that. 'Cause my daughter worked there too, but she take them to task because she exposes a lot of that and have exposed a lot of it. And one of the hospitals basically almost got closed down because of her exposure of one of them. And the head nurse got fired. So people, like you say, people got to speak up. You can't just let them get away with it.
well, they do, man. That's like I tell everybody, man. I encourage everybody I know when they get into some shit at the job, some of these bosses or whatever talk to them sideways. See, they get away with it from a lot of people because a lot of people don't complain because they know who they could talk that shit to. But sometimes they overstep their boundaries and say, "Oh, I can get away with it," or somebody else. I tell people, don't put your hands on nobody. You can easily. That's the easy thing to do is whoop somebody's ass. You hit them where it hurt with the pen.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
take their money away.
Mhm. Expose the business, expose them for what they're doing. Because a lot of these people been getting away with it for years because nobody speaks up. A lot of people are scared to speak out. And then some people just don't know what direction to take, because it's like sometimes you have to talk to certain people, and then those people will go back and report it to the person that you're trying to report. So it's just like sometimes you don't know, but if you have somebody that has experience with it, and they can tell you which route to take, who to reach out to, what to do, because please believe me, human resource is not there for you. They're there to protect the company. They're not there for the employee.
I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that. That is true. The people need to stop running to HR as soon as they get in trouble with their little supervisor. I'm gonna go to HR and speaking to the HR clerk like she's listening to you. Okay, for real. As soon as she call that soup in there, he or she, they're gonna have a conversation and laugh. So what were they doing? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, y'all, man, if y'all got a union rep, y'all make them motherfuckers work for y'all. Y'all pay their dues and you pay your dues for them. Y'all make them work. Some of them is living a lavish life doing nothing because you know why? The employees don't complain to them about shit.
Facts.
You know,
And they getting paid under the table.
Under the from ain't it mysteriously, ain't it crazy that some of the union reps be having lunch with the supervisors or managers around like negotiation times?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're supposed to be representing you.
Yep.
Yeah, and you know what? While we on airline ramp exposure, finally admitted, health first. That's what should be first. People say, "Oh, I make good money. I'm gonna get $2,800 after taxes. I'm gonna go exempt in 2 weeks." And blah, 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 blah. What the fuck is that gonna do? Then you gotta do the same shit the next pay period. I'm gonna tell you like this. Some of them people, it's a lot of smart people we work with at the airport who's still there, man. Some of them people, I encourage them to get the fuck out the airport. Everybody that I know who's left the airport has progressed in their life financially, less stress, more time for they wife, kids, spouse, whatever, especially some of the guys at the airports, they boyfriends.
Oh Lord.
But I just say, just in general, I mean, cause we work with a lot of people out there, man, different nationalities, races, sexualities, you know what I'm saying? So, sex preferences and shit. But you have to say, man, it's just so many people out there who don't think there's no hope left, because the first thing they gonna say is, I don't want to lose my flight benefits.
No. And
like,
you know where they flying to and why they flying there.
Oh yeah,
And it ain't to get no souvenirs.
No souvenirs. Because I'm not flying.
Not a pervert.
I'm not flying to Bangkok
That's
for a bobblehead.
You hit it right on the nose, young lady. Perverts. All of them.
And well, like you say, man, that's just some people. I mean, what's so crazy, man? A lot of people still don't want to admit that they biggest stress in their life is their job, but they don't want to let it go because, I make good money off of it. Is that your only skill, man? I know somebody who actually was in law enforcement, but not like a cop, but in that field, and who just got into cooking in their mom's restaurant, Asian restaurant, left that shit alone, man. Talk to the cat now, man. They always happy. Hey, what up, bro? I'm like, man, damn. Every time I used to see you before, man, you was like ready to crack somebody's head. Now it's like you just a different person. But I say that to say this: somebody always got something that they really love that they want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Tell
you the truth, your job could be your number one stress factor.
Because people don't use their job.
They let the job use them. Mm-hmm.
It's some people right now that we know working jobs overtime all the time, saving up just to take a trip for 2 weeks to spend all that money they saved, then do it all over again. Then they say, "Oh, wow, damn, well, hey, I thought you were supposed to go on this trip. Well, I can't do it, man, because, I had, I got this car issue now. So now they got to fix this. Then they got to do more OT to save up to take another. Oh, well, now I got to do this." Like, bro, y'all priorities is fucked up. Like y'all know, man, if you ain't changed your brakes in 4 years, you're pretty sure they finna go out right, any day now. So you should change them, not plan on going to the Philippines. You know what I'm saying?
I can tell you, I'm with the And when they go to the Philippines,
Hey,
they
look,
just,
Philippines a once in a lifetime opportunity. Them breaks can wait.
no, it's not. It's not for them. It's not a
Russ.
once in a
Hold up, cuz
lifetime
what you going to the
opportunity.
Philippines for?
Hey,
I ain't say I was going shit, but I'm just trying to shake up for them. Hell,
It's not.
matter
It's
of
not.
fact,
It's,
them
it's
people
not a
got a
once
right
in
to
a.
travel. Shit.
No, but it's not a once in a lifetime opportunity for these guys. They go every other week.
Uh, I
hey,
tried.
so
They
you know
make
what?
it their
Hey,
mission.
you know what's gonna happen when they get back?
No more money for you. Go ahead.
Stupid.
Oh man. Look, I tried, man. I tried. Shit.
Yeah, but real talk, hey,
Let me
it's
tell
some
you
of them
something.
guys. Go ahead.
Yeah, we got this guy. We know this guy that went out there and he was messing with those women out there, women he don't know, eating ass by the pound and happy
Mm-hmm.
about it. Come back to LA and tell me and he'd say, you know what, man, you out there eating foreign ass in a third world country. That's the least of your worries. You should be going to see a doctor. And he said he had some little sores on him. And he's like, yeah, maybe that is what I should have been doing.
Yeah, I'm like, hey, bro,
I
you
mean, he
coming?
made some poor decisions. That sounds like some poor life choices right there.
That is poor life choice. Like, come on, man. I
You
mean,
know what
no,
I'm
man.
saying? Shit.
You know what's
Nobody
the
told him to travel across the world to go eat some third world ass. Shit, Sometimes you gotta exercise a little better judgment, you know.
Man, real talk, man. Hey, some of these guys don't think about that, man. I heard one story about what one guy said he got trapped over like in the Philippines somewhere for like 3-4 days. They wouldn't let him back because the country wouldn't allow you back with certain illnesses, so they had to make sure that ain't what he had.
Yeah.
So I was like, and I was like, I said, man, these dudes is crazy, and they hate talking to me. I'm gonna keep it real, like they be all, man, how much fun they be having, this, that, and that. I'd be like, damn, man, that's cool. How's your wife?
What you bringing her up for?
And that's what they say. Oh man, yeah, well, shit, I don't know.
Ain't that
You
some
know,
shit?
What she got to
I
do with
know,
this?
I know
She gonna have a
literally.
lot to do with it. You bring them disease home.
Oh shit!
Exactly.
Come here,
Exactly. I
and I
spoil
know.
don't
all
want
my
them,
fun.
and I don't want them thinking I encourage none of these motherfuckers to do nothing.
Hell, they grown men. They don't need your encouragement. Shit.
Well, hey, and that's, hey, man, hey, you be surprised. I told one of my partners, man, I got on his ass about that shit. I ain't gonna even say my partner like that because I mean I know him through the job or a job from years ago. But he called me out the blue one time and tried to have me get him off the hook for some shit. I didn't even know what the fuck he was talking about, to tell you the truth. But I was like, man, don't do no shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, come on, man. Like some people too old for this shit. And now, mind you, I'm one of the youngest dudes out of the group of people I know. So you can imagine how much older these people are playing like that.
He'll tell you. We both of us know literally a plethora of people at the airline, for sure. And out of all the people we know, particularly all the people I know there, he is the only married man I know that haven't cheated on his wife. Now, how bad
Hey,
is that? How
hey,
bad is that?
hey, I tell you, hey, you see, these other motherfuckers, they sit around and hey man, I don't know about what they do, but I'm just saying a lot of people like to party. I say shit, man. Hey, you supposed to party in college, shit.
Why do
But
people wait till they get married to do all this cheating? If that's the case, just stay single and do you, because it's like that risk factor of bringing something back to someone you supposed to love is crazy to me. Like then people wonder why so many women end up on Snap. It's like stop playing with people.
yeah, you're right. I mean, like I said, they do have some diseases out there right now that condoms are not stopping.
Yeah, and they were just talking about that. They were just talking about that with the CDC and World Health was basically speaking on a couple of new diseases that have been found that are not curable yet, as they say, and
Yeah.
that are not stoppable by condoms.
Yeah, they've had those diseases that couldn't be stopped by condoms for a while. My daughter was telling me about that years ago. Remember that country?
Something about them. What'd you say? They melting rubbers.
Something about them
I
blue
mean,
waffles.
it was like, oh yeah, that's some nasty stuff right there. That's some nasty. But the cold part about it, these guys don't, and we've been telling them for years, you're going out there doing that kind of stuff. You're virtually throwing your dick on the dice table. You're gonna crap out one day, okay? So leave the dice alone, leave the gambling alone, and keep your stuff tucked away. Keep keep your pistol in your holster. Don't go around shooting it all over every country you go to.
Yeah, that is
A
true.
word of advice.
Well, like you
Why
say,
would you
man.
play Russian roulette with your private part?
Well, like some people so confused, man. Like I say, a lot of people be out there doing stupid shit. Then the first thing they'll tell you is, "Oh, I know the Bible." Like, damn, but you just went and murked like 20 people. Oh, but now I know the Bible. Like, evidently you don't.
The devil know the Bible too, so it's like
Yeah,
people
yeah,
can't
true.
use that.
That's what I'm
But
saying. And
they say
they
it's
use that stuff to
involuntary
breed
manslaughter.
fruitful.
E. They
Yeah.
say it's involuntary.
Well,
That's just like I
like
know y'all remember that girl that was going around giving people AIDS because she said some guy gave it to her. So she was mad about him giving it to her. So in her anger, she just started sleeping with random men and was giving it to them and wasn't even letting them know at first until I forgot how it happened or how it went down. But she's in jail now. She's in jail with a
good.
life sentence because they consider that, attempted murder. Like you out
Yeah,
That,
here trying to kill these people.
I can say I know that's for a fact. I know a girl like that in the '80s that did the same thing, and I knew her sister, and she told me, yeah, she was going around trying to give it to every guy, so she got it. And I was like, what the hell? I was like, well, she the one was wanking a guy without a rubber, and she got it from a
Yeah,
guy that
that's crazy.
was a heroin addict.
And he
yeah,
probably got it from one of them needles.
that's crazy too. Matter of fact, a lot of stuff been going online, Facebook. Nothing's been confirmed online from reliable sources. But like I say, man, you get a lot of people, you see a lot of videos online. So I'm gonna say allegedly. Russ, if you get caught in Houston and some girl burns you like that, and y'all need an attorney, y'all can reach out to Russ Stringfellow. They can represent you for some shit like that, man. So I don't know, Russ. Do y'all do things like that in situations like that?
I imagine it can be done, yeah. But I mean, something like that, what are you suing the person for? Do they actually have money? First of all, they better have some money if you're going to sue them, because it doesn't make sense to sue somebody who doesn't have any money. You don't want a judgment in which you can't do anything with. So I guess it could be potentially beneficial if the person has means, but if the person is on broke ass, well, I don't see the benefit of it. And other than talk about intentionally passing you something, that's more of a criminal charge.
Well, ain't that like technically some kind of assault or like say attempted murder or something like that?
Murder? Right. That's a criminal charge. That's
Yeah.
something the district attorney would have to file charges on that person, but you won't be compensated monetarily for that. You could sue that person if they gave you something, but like I say, that's only beneficial if that person has money.
Yeah.
And then it would be their word against your word, correct?
I
No,
mean, yeah, but I guess once the court proceedings are started, you would have for one, you would need to find out if the person has a disease. Then you might be able to subpoena for a blood test to confirm or deny that. But
what I'm saying though, if you both got it, you have to
Who gave it
establish
to
that.
who? Say who gave
Yeah,
it
I
to
think
who?
exactly,
they can. I
exactly.
think they can tell who was carrying and who received it. If I'm
I mean,
not
I've
mistaken.
seen lawsuits when people have alleged that one person giving another, some type of disease.
Yeah.
So I've seen it. It can happen now.
Well, I think that's where the importance of where they tell people go to the doctor, get a regular checkup, have your shot records on file. So
Right.
God forbid if you ever in that position, like I've been getting checked out for the last, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I mean, the bottom line is, if you don't do it, you ain't got to go through that.
Yeah, you're right about that. You're right about that. But like you say, a lot of these dudes gonna go get a bottle of Morgan David, and they gonna take a stroll down one of them streets and gonna have an extra $26 in their pocket, and they gonna forget about what you said, brother.
If you paying some $26 for some ass, you deserve to get whatever you get.
Hey shit. Hey, in LA for some dude, that's high, man. I knew some dudes who was saying, man, they can get it for 4.
Yeah.
Oh snap!
But that's crazy, man. Like I say, the shit you used to see back in the 90s, man, like in LA. People, man, it like I said, you had this rock epidemic everywhere. All major cities, 90s, late 90s, early 2000s. But man, 85 to like 93 in LA with that shit, man. Man, anytime you see a guy talking about, doing stuff with somebody that look like him for that, that shit is bad.
Pretty much.
And
And
that
you
was
know what?
everywhere.
And still happening.
Man, like I remember that story. OG Mr. Glenn that came on some shows ago was saying about back in the day. He said some of the ladies, he said back in the late 80s, early 90s, he said, we was working back then, they give you your check. Wasn't no direct deposit like that, He said, so, you get your check, everybody standing in line and give you your check, you already know what you're getting. Back in the day, you're getting paid good money, your shit, like he said $1,400-$1,500, every 2 weeks in the early 90s was good money. And he said, hell, some of them ladies start calling up to the job, begging the managers, please don't give my husband a check, because he ain't gonna do nothing but go right to the dope, man.
And that's just crazy.
It was bad, man. I mean, he said it was bad, man. He said some of them would, cash them checks, get their check around their first break. Then when they go on their lunch break, that's when they would go to the liquor store, where they charge them $6 to cash the check. That's crazy. That's $6 to cash what $1,500. That's good. Say they would go
Well,
right
a
to
lot of them was down bad back then. It
it
became
was.
it was like what's his name on Jungle Fever? Dang, what's his name again?
Wesley
Oh,
Snipes.
Not Wesley Snipes,
no,
the other one.
but Samuel L. Jackson that played his
Yes,
brother.
I can't think of his name. You have people
Jada.
like that. They was robbing their own mama.
Yeah, it was bad, man. It was bad, man. And what's sad about it is too, man. Some of the stories that you would hear that went on. A lot of these people forget, man. A lot of these ladies that was out there using these drugs and sleeping with men they don't even know, having babies. You'd be surprised. Some of these ladies you see walking around that are stick figures, then popped out 12, 13 kids that they probably don't know where they at.
The fact that some of them was offering their babies for a rock, like you was letting men have sex with your child just so you can get high.
And they sick for doing it.
The cold part about it, you have some people that was like just not getting high, not paying, but was having sex with little babies. And that's some sick shit. I had a relative who 4-month-old baby got gonorrhea. You know what I mean? So there's some sick, nasty motherfuckers out there. And
They say they should
to
put him
me,
under the jail.
under the jail shit, they just put him in the motherfucking cell with some motherfuckers and want to take care of him because that motherfucker don't deserve a spot here.
Would you say they should have just put him in a cell with fleece? Yeah, I saw that episode the other day. Fleece was sitting in front of that guy and said, "Look at here, he you know he ain't got no teeth in his mouth, but he was biting an apple." You know, you put him in a cell with a dude like that. Oh man.
Oh shit.
Yeah, no, but hey, man. Also, before been over a little bit over an hour before we get out of here,
Funny in
man.
a motherfucker.
It was some news that came out. You know what I'm saying? Alleged news. Or maybe y'all heard about it. Supposedly, Jay-Z got his chain robbed or something like that.
Where at?
Not sure where at. But they say that's what the rumor is online, and some media sources say is true. But then they try to tie other shit to it, which I don't believe. They trying to say the money issues. Maybe it's a ploy to get some insurance money off of it, because I think the chain is worth $3 million or something like that.
Really?
And those chains have those chains come with insurance. With $3 million.
Yeah.
But what does he need $3 million for?
I mean, that's a good question.
Because if he's doing that for insurance for $3 million, Jay-Z must be in a fucked up financial situation. I mean, a billionaire, but I'm pulling $3 million insurance scams.
Well, it says
that don't add up.
Don't add up.
Right here on Media Takeout. Shout out to MediaTakeout.com.
All right, now. Yeah, that's a very credible site.
Yeah. Well, it says August 4th, Jay-Z $3 million chain snatched at Beyonce's final concert. Why would they publish something like that if it ain't true?
Who, Media Takeout? Why would they publish it?
They post a lot of shit.
Clickbait, right. They want traffic. We got to drive traffic to the site.
Well, they also got some other cats right here on Instagram. What they say, backstage at Beyonce's Cowboy Carter last show, the tour is over. He said allegedly Jay-Z got a $3.3 million chain snatched by a fan who took off running, and I think he got away in Las Vegas.
In Las Vegas?
Yeah.
By a fan?
Yeah, I don't think it's true. Me personally, I don't think it's true.
How did they get that close to him?
That close? That's what I was saying. Like, how the hell did they get that close? I don't think it's true. Like I said, a lot of people put this shit on there. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody gonna get close to Jay-Z to take no fucking $3 million chain. Like, man, come on, man, Jay-Z. And I know Jay-Z got some guards that would have probably dropped the motherfucker, with a slug. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, $3 million chain. And
that's what I'm saying. I don't see it.
If it is true, you know what I'm saying? Like, if it is true, his security guards need to be fired.
Yeah. I think it might have been something that made mainstream news too. Not just Media Takeout. Shit. I remember Kim Kardashian got robbed in Paris. That shit made the mainstream news.
Yeah.
That wasn't just, you see that on Media Takeout. Yeah.
Well, I'm also I'm looking at some other people that I'm not saying is credible, but we watch Mr. Gary with the T from the Ricky Smiley show. He y'all can check him out on his page. He got the same clip. A lot of people running this clip. You know what I'm saying? So I hope it ain't true. You know what I'm saying? Because damn, can you imagine that? Can you imagine somebody getting close to Jay-Z to snatch his chain? What that's gonna give confidence to somebody else saying, oh, if they got close to Jay-Z,
somebody getting fired. No more money for you.
Real talk.
Yeah. But like you say, the chance of that being true is kind of probably slim. I mean, you guys want their money out. They making good money, as bodyguards for him. They don't want to get fired.
Nah.
If anything, they overactive, opposed to being suckers.
Man, hey, you say Jay-Z, if you need some real guards, man, we got your back. My boy Don right there, he say He too old to fight. All he got to do is shoot.
Funny.
Shoot first, ask questions later. You might face a wrongful death lawsuit, Jay-Z, but I guarantee you won't get your chain snatched.
Yeah, but like I say, man, me personally, I don't think it's true, man. You get a lot of people running this shit, you know what I'm saying? Like you said, I'm waiting to hear something about mainstream, but something that I have noticed lately, I don't know if y'all paid attention to this, a lot of shit that has come out hasn't been making the mainstream media. Have y'all noticed that?
Yeah, because they're controlling the media now. Everybody's
like that boy that got jumped on by them white boys, and they dad, the one white boy whose dad was a cop, so they got away with it.
Simi Valley.
Why that's not national news? Like the one where the black guys defended themselves. I mean, they went a little too far. Don't get me wrong. Kicking the man in the head and all that stuff, that was too far. But at the same time, these men took flight first. They swung on that man and him and his friends reacted.
Yeah, well, that's why they also tell people, like, don't get me wrong. If you out and you have an argument and somebody punches you first, you got the right to defend yourself. You know what I'm saying? But you can go overboard. I know in California, once you start using your feet, that's a different story. You know, but to what you were saying, to what you were saying about those teens in Simi Valley, this was Simi Valley. They got a video up on YouTube, you know, abc7.com. You can check them out. They got a video up of a violent fight. It was outside of a movie theater, at the Regal Plaza. That's what's the name of it. The residents in Simi Valley, which we all know Simi Valley is a predominantly Caucasian area. You know, it's not too many black people live in that area. But the residents in Simi Valley are demanding justice and calling for hate crime against the 4 teens who were arrested for attacking another teen. We all know the 4 teens were 4 Caucasian boys and the teen was a black kid. So it happened outside of the movie theater. And so the residents, they don't stand up for that. You know, a lot of people may have thought that they wouldn't back the teen who was beaten because of the skin color. No, like they said before, what's wrong is wrong, what's right is right.
And I mean, it was a lot of racial slurs being thrown, you know, like at the end of the day,
all that.
They was calling him an N-word, a monkey, a slave, all kind of stuff. So it's just like, it's considered a hate crime because you didn't jump on this boy for nothing. You literally attacked him for literally nothing. Just something y'all boys felt like doing, the good old boys, as they call them.
And the coon sheriff almost let it go by, saying, "Oh yeah, you may consider it a hate crime. Maybe, I don't know."
Well, like I say, man,
maybe I don't know.
Well, I'm gonna say that. Like I said, if we don't start encouraging people to, you know, to be cops and stuff like that, we're gonna continue to deal with the same stuff.
Well, he's a cop and he a brother.
Yeah, but man, come on, man. I'm talking about
Simi Valley. You think he's trying to lose that?
Use what?
So I say, you think he's trying to lose that? He has that good ass job in Simi Valley. He's not trying to lose that.
Well, I don't know about what the officer who's in charge of Simi Valley had to say, but I know one of the teen boys' father is a cop in Simi Valley, but I don't know if he's like in charge or nothing like that. But I mean, I don't think. Well, they already put out a statement. The Simi Valley Police Department put out a statement saying that the officer who's the father of that child, he won't be involved in that investigation at all, which we already know he can't by law, you know, all departments. But, you know, you think some of the investigators don't know that that's their buddy's kid?
Yeah, exactly. They'll come up with something. They'll come up with something to offset it.
Yeah.
Make it legit. Yeah, well, he kind of looked at it.
Justification. Some kind of way, They're gonna find something to justify it.
Well, like I tell people, you got to stay on guard, stay on your P's and Q's. Me personally, do I fault that kid for going to enjoy a movie? No, I don't know if he was there by himself. If he wasn't, where was your homies at or whatever? If you was there with a lady, where was she at? Did she throw a swing? Um, like anything. But also to the parents of that young boy, if you have your biological black parents, like did y'all prepare this kid for stuff like that? Because living in Simi Valley, Simi Valley is an hour 20 minutes away from LA, with traffic, and that ain't nowhere near where the riot started, if you get my drift.
Yeah, yeah. But ain't that where Rodney King got his ass whooped?
No,
Simi Valley?
he was Lakeview Terrace.
Oh, okay. All right. I thought
Wasn't
it
that
was
the
Simi
Samuel L.
Valley.
Jackson movie?
Yeah, Lakeview Terrace movie.
Yeah,
It's funny
yeah.
because that city is actually where Rodney King was beat at, in '92. But no, deep down, what you talking about, Simi Valley is where they had the trial of the King trial in Simi Valley because they didn't want to have it in
Oh,
LA.
okay. All right.
Now that's perfect. All right. Now you know what's so crazy? Perfect example right there. Like the jury that was selected in that Rodney King trial was a predominantly white jury in Simi Valley with a trial with 5 officers, 3 white, 2 Hispanic, that were on video beating Rodney King. They moved it out of LA to Simi Valley. Now you got this incident here in Simi Valley where these 4 teens beat up this soul black kid. Now you see what I'm saying? Like, why did they move that trial to Simi Valley? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. Preferential
I'm sure the
treatment.
prosecution probably requested that, move.
The DA, yeah.
Because they
You know,
wanted
he
you're right.
I'm gonna tell you
It's a
right here,
different
that
jury
DA,
pool.
you right about that, because the DA we got now is strictly a racist. Absolutely, unequivocally, he's a racist. And
Allegedly.
he shows it. Well, yeah, allegedly. But you can tell. You can tell. He already said when he got in office, things are gonna change. So, I wouldn't be surprised if they get a little trigger happy while he's in office.
I mean, venue changes are common in cases like that. Because they
And
believe that the jury pool may be tainted, especially on the prosecution. They wanted to move it because they can probably get what they believe would be more of a whiter jury.
oh yeah,
By
absolutely.
moving and keeping
Absolutely.
it in the city, it's going to be too many minorities on that, potential minorities to X out.
Now, tell me something, E. Do you think, and I'm not gonna lie, you know what? I felt that Gascon was too light on crime. And I think most people was sure that Gascon was too light on crime. But Hoffman, what's his name? Hoffman? E?
You talking about Nathan Hoffman, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah. Now, he's the opposite of Gascon. Gascon was too easy. And this
Too
dude
lenient.
here too lenient. And this guy here is opposite of that. I'll just
Well,
say.
I look at it like this though, Don. I agree with you. He's opposite of Gascon. Gascon was very lenient. But
Too
look what
lenient.
happened on
Too
Gascon.
lenient.
You had people pulling up to grocery stores 10 deep, walking in, grocery shopping, and walking right out with the baskets.
Yeah.
And nobody could stop them.
Yeah. But who put that law out that under 900 something bucks you don't go to jail? Who put that law out? That was the people, wasn't it? They voted that in there, not Gascon. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're right. You're right about that, man.
But don't get me wrong. Gascon, he was too lenient. He was way too lenient for me. But now when you get Nathan in there, he's too much of a redneck.
Well, I mean, hey, like I tell people, well, just like you said about these cats that's out there cheating on their wives, keep it in their pants. If you know you got a very strict DA, don't be out there doing nothing stupid.
Yeah, yeah, true. True that.
It's
True
as
that.
simple as that. I mean, that's something too that a lot of us law-abiding citizens. Now, I ain't saying me, but a lot of law-abiding citizens tend to worry about shit that will. Well, how do I say this? A lot of law-abiding citizens tend to think like a criminal. Oh man, this dude gonna give motherfucker time for this. But yeah, you don't live like a criminal, so why you worry about it?
Well, the one thing I'm concerned about, and I'll be looking forward, and which everybody will be looking forward, is that when they started dropping slugs into people, particularly us, if he'd be willing to take them to town for that. I doubt it. I doubt that.
I doubt it too. I
I
mean, to
doubt
be
that.
honest with you, just being this color is considered a crime in most people's eyes, or it's considered a threat. You know, a lot of people fear you because you're black. They don't care if you're highly educated. They don't care if you're a doctor, a lawyer. Hey, say you a cop on your off time, you dressed in regular clothes. They don't know that. In their eyes, you just another Negro.
Yeah,
That's a
yeah,
problem for them. Like, how many cops have you heard about harass another black man? Don't even give him a chance to pull out his badge to show you that he's actually a cop.
yeah,
Man,
yeah. That's true. That's true.
hey,
There've been FBI
you know what's
agents
so
and Secret Service agents, all type of higher echelon type of authorities that's been harassed.
and you
Yeah.
know what's so crazy? Back in the day, some years ago, y'all remember that whole Chris Donner situation? You know, the LAPD officers were pretty spooked.
My
I'm gonna say
man.
that.
Your boy
Hey,
Donner.
hey, that boy, he had
That
these
boy.
guys spooked. And I say that to say this: if you were 5'5" to 6'3" in black in LA, you could be light skinned. You were in trouble because every
Yeah,
cop was looking at you. So don't be bald headed and
Oh,
dark
bald
skinned
headed
around
was
six
number
feet.
one.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
They
Oh
pulled
man,
over
yeah.
a lot of cars with
man,
Hey, well,
bald
don't
headed
forget,
black men.
it was not even black man. You remember those Mexican girls was in their car going to work early in the morning, and they
man.
lit them up.
Let them. Hey, Russ. They were
Yeah,
looking for Chris Donner, so they were in Torrance, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere in that area.
Uh-huh.
And you know, the ladies stole papers early in the morning. These are two older Hispanic ladies, and the police lit them up. Thought they had Chris Donner, a 6 foot, 300 pound black man.
Damn.
Thought they had him in the back seat.
Right. You gotta check everybody. You can't trust nobody, you know.
what
Everybody
the
suspect.
hell?
He said we thought they fit the description.
Yeah, yeah. That little Mexican lady look like that big black bald head
Big black
brother.
bald head dude.
Well, yeah. That little Mexican lady.
He's little.
Getting that white girl on and shit.
Oh man. They
They
thought the
didn't.
papers
They,
was a gun.
they didn't shoot no car full of old white ladies. It was Latinas.
But hey, like I say, man, again, I tell people this. I encourage a lot of people to I I encourage a lot of people to encourage their kid, nephews, nieces, if they around that age. A lot of people are out of high school now. The people who graduated last year, you know, this is their first school year where school start this week. They ain't got to go back. You know, they got that little freedom. The people who got kids like that around 18, 19. Encourage them to be cops or something, firemen, paramedics, you know what I'm saying, like something like that, because you know, a lot of people complain about stuff that you can control, you know, shit like that you can control, you know, through encouragement. What did they do back in the day? What made you want to get in that position, Russ, to be an attorney? Somebody encouraged you to do that.
True.
You see what I'm saying? So that's what I tell people. Start encouraging people to do this, that, and that, because man, they so crazy, man. Like, let's be real. Like, oh man, hey man, look, once you get out of high school, you could be a garbage man, man. I gotta get you over the plug, man, where you can make 90K a year. Yeah, that's good money. But like, you know, what other life skills gonna come along with dumping trash your whole life?
Yeah. Who you gonna help?
Well, how that's gonna help somebody? What if you're a fireman? Become a fireman. You're gonna make just as much money, more, maybe more in California with OT with the wildfires and shit like that. But something, encourage, and I say encourage them to do something or be something that's gonna help somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
that's what's going on nowadays. Because we encourage a lot of our kids, nieces, nephews, and maybe the neighbors' kids that don't have a male figure in their life. We encourage them on sports and shit all the time, do this, that, and that. But that ain't gonna do nothing but help themselves, maybe their family out if they make it. But you encourage them to be something like a cop, fireman, stuff like that. They can make it. That's something they're guaranteed to make. All you got to do is stay focused. With sports, you got to stay focused and have a little bit of luck and a lot of damn skill. But something
Yeah.
like becoming like one of these, all you got to do is stay focused and you'll make it. All you got to do is graduate high school. That's it. Graduate high school, fill out an application, pass a physical, make it through an academy, and
Don't
you
have
can
a
be.
record. Don't have a
Don't have
record.
a record, you can be that.
But I mean, just a small disclaimer for as far as becoming a police officer and being melanated, it's a little different. Like you gotta choose whether you're gonna be blue or you're gonna be black.
Well, that's why you got
They
to
don't
choose
let you
what
do
department
both.
you're gonna join.
And a lot of them are like that. But you if it's more y'all than them, then you can make some changes. Like if you get more of them, get more of your own community in there, yeah, then you can make some changes. Because right now you see who's going and becoming cops, and it's not favoring us. Like it's time to change the career paths that we teach our children to go down.
And like I
Don't
say, it's
just
not,
put them in a box.
and it's not hatred. I agree with you 100%, and I can honestly say that's not coming from a hatred standpoint because every community encourages their children to do something. The Filipino
Yeah.
community encourages their daughters to be nurses. The Hispanic community encourages their kids to be officers or some kind of political figure, something that they can help people who look like them in their neighborhood. So it's nothing wrong with you encouraging people who look like you to do something, and that's the problem. A lot of people can help out somebody but choose not to unless they ask. You know what I'm saying? Get out of that mind frame. If you know you got the tools to help somebody else prevail, why don't you help that person get to the next level? Because I guarantee you, if you spend your time with somebody who didn't ask for it and they see you genuinely care about if they make it, they gonna reward you. I ain't saying it's gonna be financial, but they'll reward you. You know what I'm saying? They might, you might be doing bad one day, and that person, he or she, may come out of nowhere. I heard you needed 20 grand. You never know.
Yeah.
You ain't got to pay it back. This for what you did for me. Shit like that. But people
Yeah.
don't do that no more. People say that don't happen to me. They ain't never heard of that happening to nobody. You know why? When the last time you heard of a motherfucker reaching out and helping somebody they know needed help? But you know what I'm saying? When's the last time somebody did that? People ain't doing that no more because everybody's so self-centered nowadays. I say me personally, like honestly, I could say me. I try to reach out to everybody. I try to give everybody opportunity to get what's off their chest, get their voice heard, help them promote what they got going on. And a lot of people don't bite off that shit. But I tell this to them: how many other motherfuckers is giving you that opportunity? So that's why I say people gotta when you snap back into reality and start paying attention to how stuff goes, you know what I'm saying? Eliminate the fake and get on with the real, then you could prevail in a real way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. True.
I should write a fucking book.
That is true.
Okay. Yeah. Another thing we got to get out of is stop feeling bad when we say that we want stuff for our people. Because everybody else can say that they want stuff for their people. But when black people say we want stuff for our people, it's now considered we're being, hatred or racist or we have some type of malicious intent behind that. Like, no, why we can't have nothing that's ours? Everyone else have something that's theirs. Why is it a problem when we say we want something that's ours? So we got to get out of that mind frame of always having to give a disclaimer when we say that we want something to be ours or we want our people to go to that and be that. Because nobody else give out disclaimers when they say they want they people and they people only. So we got to get out that mentality.
Yeah, you're right. We gotta snap out of that mentality. But like you said, everybody gotta be on board. And it's not saying it's race based, because I'm gonna be real. A lot of people don't talk about the other races of people who did help out the black people back in those days. Predominantly, it was a lot of white help too. People don't talk about that. I'm gonna just give credit where credit's due. I'm talking about back in the 60s movement, King, stuff like that. Um, so not saying racially, saying, oh, it's just up to us. No, if you for the movement of a peaceful environment for everybody, then you can come on board. You know what I'm saying, with the movement. But as far as us, as far as our own people, we got to fix our own problems. We can't look for other people to fix a problem for us.
But how are we gonna fix it when it seems like it's a problem? Like anytime we
Well,
try to gather together and do something to help, like for one, a topic that we don't discuss in the black family is mental health. I know nowadays the younger kids and the people that are born in the melanin era. I mean, I said melanin, the millennial era. They are stop, please. They are the ones that are waking up and focusing more on mental health than people back then. Like our parents, they didn't focus on mental health. They felt like whatever happened in the house stays in the house, and that was the problem.
true. And like I say, I mean, I brought this up on some episodes ago, that it's a lot of stuff in the community, our community, that we don't speak about, that we need to address. My biggest thing, I've always say, you still have a lot of people indulging in shit that they've been doing since the 80s, 90s, which is rock cocaine. People need to let that go. People still lying to themselves. People are still promiscuous. You know what I'm saying? People still feel like they owed something or they deserve this, that, and that. And I'm also say this too. Some of these old party going drug addict people that's in their late 50s, early 60s, that had all them kids that are grown now. You raised your kids, yes, you decided and chose to raise your kids, and they're grown. But your kids aren't here to take care of you. They got their own lives, Um,
You going there?
and a lot of people don't realize that. Some of these parents is pressing their kids to take care of them. Nah, man, y'all gotta get your own lives, especially some of these ladies. Just because it didn't work out with y'all, let your daughters live their lives with the man they met that's good for them. Just because you didn't have that luxury, don't hate on the next person.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like I say, man. They sit up. Everybody talk head when they talk about reparations for black people.
No.
Everybody. We're the only group that didn't get reparations. The Indians got them. The Asians got them when they went in encampment jail or whatever you want to call it. Everybody got it. But as soon as they mention black people who got the worst of the treatments, they want to go against it.
Hello.
All the time.
Why is that? Why they want to go against us?
Well, because they know a lot of us ain't gonna speak up when you gotta speak up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, how many people, I've said this too, they the break room talk. How many conversations that people have had in the break room that are like deep political and all that shit, but it gets nowhere further than the break room. The people they should speak it to, they don't go show up and voice it to these people. And so basically, that's one thing they know about our community, is that they're not gonna speak up.
Yeah. Afraid what somebody else is gonna say.
Damn.
Yeah, and then also just self-educating. Like a lot of us don't take the time to educate ourselves on certain political parties and positions, and so we just vote them in because they black. But like I said earlier, not all skin folks are kin folks. You can't just vote them in because they look like you. but they
Yeah.
might not be
Yeah.
you. They might want to claim another race. They might be mixed. They want to say they this and not that.
Yeah.
When it comes time to having to stick up for the black people, everybody falls back, even the ones that we vote in.
Yeah. Ask Miss Bass.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. Well, I mean, I hate to say it, I don't think she'll get reelected next term, not saying off of certain moves she's made, but just certain promises that she said was going to happen in the city, and it's not looking like that. I mean, like I said, we walk this city a lot, especially exercising in the morning, and I'm pretty sure you're familiar with this, Don, that old Hostess factory back over there, like on Gramercy somewhere.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Now,
60
in that
seconds.
area,
60 seconds on 62nd, Grammys.
yeah. Now you pass that area. Metro got the walk path that run from Crenshaw all the way to Long Beach Boulevard. Um, you pass by the Hostess factory just over there, man. It's like bum city. It's trash everywhere. Even on the Metro path, it ain't even been open 6-7 months, and it's like a jungle walking around there. You got trash and you got weeds growing everywhere. But like I say, the Hostess factory, man, you got debris, homeless boo-boo, pee everywhere. And it's like, man, this is LA. People would be surprised.
That was a pillar. That was a pillar for LA, that factory.
It was, man. It was. It was. Hey, I was telling my wife, man, back in the day, like early 90s, when they used to light that damn Hostess factory up, when they was cooking them cakes, it would light up damn near all of South Central. I'm talking about that smell of them fresh brownies and Twinkies, whatever being made. Man.
Yeah, everything.
Hey,
everything.
A lot of people made a good living off Hostess.
That's how we moved to Windsor Hills.
Hostess used to pay pretty good.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
People forget about these factories, and then that's just like in South LA. A lot of people not familiar with it, but in South LA, in some areas like where I'm talking about back in maybe like the 40s, 50s to the early 60s, because I know some of the older guys in the neighborhoods around here that I spoke with before, who are probably early 60s, said they remember as kids who they were growing up in LA, they had cows and stuff right there, like on Slauson area, like with farms over there or something like that. And I'm like, yeah, that's something new to me. But I looked it up. If you pass the Slauson area, they have a sign that says Wildison, WILDSIN, no, WILDASIN. But it's the Wildison family. They were like a farm family who moved in this area in like late 1800s. So I said, yeah, that could have been true. That's the area they have. That's why when the trains would pass like the Slauson Normandy going into the swap meet area, it would be called the Wildison Pass, because that's where they farm area was. I think right now it's like lumber yards where they have all this wood type shit right there. But I said, damn, now that you look at it, those buildings was made like that because that was like farm buildings.
Yeah.
So I said, "Dad, that's crazy." Right in Los Angeles. A lot of history in LA, a lot of history everywhere, man. Like I tell people,
do you know why they closed that Hostess factory down?
No, why was that?
It was a dispute. The salesmen, like my dad was one, my brother was one. A lot of the blacks were salesmen and the whites. They were salesmen. They delivered the cakes. They made all the money. But the cooks wasn't. The cooks was majority Hispanics, and they wanted that kind of money. The company didn't want to pay them that kind of money. So they said they're going to go on strike. And they told them, if you go on strike, we're going to close everything down in California. I guess they didn't believe them. And reality hit them, and they lost. And don't get me wrong, they were still making like $50,000. They was making $50,000 back then as cooks and bakers, but they wanted more money. They said no, and they lost their jobs for it. Everybody else, you know, they were making good money. They was ready to retire anyhow. So
Yeah.
they got screwed. My dad
Well,
retired, you know.
that's also like that's also sort of like back in the days, you know, that's another story, but not back in the days when a lot of the black and white janitors lost their jobs, and you know, Jesse Jackson marched with the people that took the jobs from them, you know, like a lot of shit, you know, like I said, man, a lot of people used to live comfortable in LA. A lot of the factories left. Shit, a lot of them went down there to
Jesse
the Houston
Jackson
area.
always was Jesse Jackson always was shady.
Yeah, he always was, man.
I
But like I
remember when
say,
he
man,
said he lied. He said he had Martin Luther King blood on him. And they proved he was lying. He looked as dumb as
yeah.
dirt.
Well, like you say, man, you know, just cause damn, I tell people all the time, just cause you see a brother in front of the camera, don't mean he's intelligent,
Yeah. It doesn't mean he's a brother.
and don't mean
Yeah,
he's a brother.
because you black doesn't make you a brother.
Real talk.
That came from brother. That lingo came from unity. That phrase, brother.
Yeah,
You know, it didn't come from the Larry Elders of the world.
yeah, man. Hey, but been on here for a while, man. We're gonna get up out of here, go around the panel. Go ahead, vibes over Melon and Queen before we get up out of here. Give them some words they could use.
Um, be encouraged. Stay focused. Do what you got to do to make it to where you're trying to go to. Dream big and reach high. That's all I can take.
Dream big, reach high. I'm telling you, man, you gotta dream big, reach high. And I tell people this: stop living by that thing. Oh, I'm gonna live you supposed to live every day like it's your last. Yes, but there's nothing wrong with you preparing for the next day in case you make it. So remember that. Um, go ahead, Don. Go ahead and kick them off with some words.
Keep your ears and your eyes open. Always look around you. Always listen. You don't know who's trying to talk about you behind your back. You don't know who you're gonna see that's gonna be detrimental to your health or your cause. So always be aware of everything around you because you don't know who's on your side these days. Sneaky winkies.
Yeah, that's true, man. That's true. Yeah, man. You got to. But like I say, man, it's been another episode of West of the 110, man. Coming to you live every Monday, fun day to Monday. Hope y'all had a good weekend. Hope your week started off good. Like I say, stay ready, keep your ears open. If people are talking about you, don't bite off of it. Let people talk. Go back to what your grannies used to tell you. If they ain't putting their hands on you, fuck them. Let them say what they gotta say. But sometimes people do talk a lot. There's nothing wrong with you checking a motherfucker, and there's also nothing wrong with you not being friends with the person you squash a beef with. Just because you are not beefing, don't mean you have to be friends anymore. And that goes for family also. It's a lot of strange shit going on in the world. It's a lot of strange shit going on locally. Pay attention to yourself. Pay attention to your surroundings. Some people might say, why pay attention to yourself? You got to pay attention to yourself. You be so busy paying attention to everybody else, you ain't paying attention to yourself. Shit. But like I say, man, real talk don't end. It just take a break. Appreciate y'all for coming on. Appreciate Russ for showing up. You know what, man? Real talk don't end. Just take a break. We'll catch y'all.
110 to the 105, over to the 10 to the 405 LA, boy, we get it in. 110 to the 105, over to the 10 to the 405 LA, boy, we get it in. Still about to flip a script, man, I'm trying to get rich. Like I'm in Las Vegas with a bunch of fucking chips. About to breeze right by you, let the motor open up. I'm a 454, y'all niggas souped up. Flow winter like Colorado, know it be cold. I've been having money, niggas, since 10 years old. Neck froze, not me, I ain't showing what I got. Niggas got some issues, me, I'm pimping party.